Welcome back, everybody, to Money Night Monday, number 6. Our first time we've kind of separated into two groups. We're doing a round robin. We're about to start our third game, but before we get too deep into it, another call out. Strikers Cup! You have until the 20th, I believe, or at least till Sunday, one of the two. I'm bad with dates to sign up for that. We're looking for 16 teams. And we know all of you have been practicing and scrimming. Well, we got a little extra time to get yourselves in and involved. So if you haven't done it yet, get on it to it. It's going to be a fantastic event. Also, while we have a little bit of time, all right, this is personal. This is me being selfish. But we're running back the Cannon Cup. And I say running back, in reality, it's just the second day of 6 days I have planned. So day 2, we're running it back this Friday after Throny's Estelle special. It's going to be right after that, which means I need 8 teams looking to sign up and take a part. Maelstrom has 2 spots available. Ember Monarchs only has 1. SSR 2 spots available. Bite Breakers 2 spots available, and then Ember Monarchs and Frostfire 1. That's going to be taking place right after Throny's coaching, which is going to be happening. So if you want to sign up for that, don't message in the Twitch chat. Send me a DM, and I'll start trying to organize all of that stuff. You know where to find me. Match 3. We got an interesting one for you. It's going to be, I hope, a good match. I'm a little bit skeptical. Tanporary Repairs still looking for their first win. Antifantiyodosun looking probably like the stronger team in this matchup. Where did I actually put them on my power rankings? I have to look at that because I did do power rankings for this, as I tend to do. And where did I put Anti's team? I think I put them. I actually had this as 6 versus 7. I think I may have done Tanporary Repairs a little bit too much. Yeah, no, I stick with that. I think this could be a closer match than people are expected, and I hope we're all comfy because it could be a longer one as well. We're going to the Ani Village. Oh boy. So we've already seen Denong cooking once on Tanporary Repairs. Antifantiyodosun. We'll see if they bounce it back on this opposite side. See where they go as we see bans for the Ani Village. No ban coming. Interesting. On one side and the other side, it was like a mixed up ban. I didn't actually see who got taken away. Was it the Era or was it the Estelle? I don't actually remember. My memory's gone. Doesn't matter. Bazzible is going to be going for the Kai goalie, and it was not the Estelle. That's the Estelle hover kind of proves right there. Denong will be getting their X potentially, or the Octavia. No, Rune. Okay, we're flipping around. I do like the X right now, and it makes me think that we are going to be seeing Denong once again go for a more kill approach. Juno did get let through. That will most likely be the last lock-in on the blue side. For the red side, you've already have that midfielders, and actually, I believe that'll be an Estelle. Never mind. I was going to say it was going to be an Estelle goalkeep. It won't be. It'll be the Dubu goalkeep. Estelle mid. I would assume Drekar will be going forward then. Drekar actually matches up pretty well into Kai. I kind of like that from my fantasy. We'll see how well it gets used right now. Yosun in the back line, of course, on that Dubu. Here we go. It is time for round number 3. Prime time taken by 4 members, except for a Castellast on Denong. So that kind of explains the X pick. We're going to be seeing some very aggressive X play, I would have to imagine, coming out of this one. Went for the Vicious Van Brace, though, instead of the Pummelers. So I guess expecting some damage thrown back at them. I'm a little bit surprised by that. We'll see how it comes into play. I mean, the first KO actually does come from this red team. They're able to take out the goalkeeper, but Denong's pressure on the opposite side will open up both barriers, and now we got a chance for a potential goal. Good defensive play from the Tanman right there. Bazzible is back, and now we can see this blue side start to put their pressure forward. If Denong can get a chance, could be seeing a cheeky little goal. Tanman swings and misses with the Blobbo, but still has it to rely on through the highway, shut down by iFantazy. As Antidotion keeps the pressure on that last corner. Again, really, really tough to make ground on this map. Denong's just going to try to open the door, but iFantazy admits all of this pressure, actually holds the core in that top corner for about as long as they possibly could. Denong now is going to be sitting with the core flip, and that's very dangerous with the exposed goal. Oh, second barrier able to sneak just behind iFantazy. Loses the health kit because they had to avoid Denong, who gets the KO regardless. There's the core flip. Does find the angle to get around the tofu wall for the first 2 touches, but not enough to get the goal. Still, the 3v2 power play. Haven't had an avenue to pass yet. The Blobbo's not really helping the situation, although the core gets behind Antidotion. A core flip from Yosun. will keep this red side alive and kicking till the snipe shot comes from the Estelle. And that's going to be a 1-0 lead favoring Antifantiyodosun. Antifantiyodosun, I believe that's what it's going to be. Oh boy, we're off to a really good start, and this red side's going to be continuing right there. As the Nong's going to look to kind of push back down to that upside. Tanman wants to create a bit more space. Bazzible, though, does make that first save on the line. Denong now again trying to use those blobos to take it through that top. Yosun holding it down as... Oh, Tanman went straight off of the core flip. It was read by Antidotion. That's a very interesting... I don't know, trying to play the mental game doesn't really work right now. In fact, not a lot working for Tanporary Repairs on this second point, as Antidotion just kind of piling onto Denong. Tanman looking to jump forward right now. It really feels like to me like the Tanporary Repairs team, so much of it relies on the Tanman just controlling the midfield with this Juno. Because if they're able to control that midfield again, Denong's just able to kind of free punch, free hit, and has the backup of the blobs to help maintain that control. On the other side, though, the amount of range, it really makes things difficult, I feel, for an X to get too involved on the Estelle or on the Drekar. They can be effective while avoiding the X getting in their face. And unfortunately, like, Tanman's blobs don't really work too well against some of these range shots, it feels like. So we are seeing a slight forward advantage for that team in red. However, with both goals open, can't go either way. Core flip from iFantazy puts it through, and we're looking at a 2-0 lead. Here we go, 2-0 in favor of Tanporary Repairs. Now 2-0 in favor of Antifantiyodosun. Tanporary Repairs in a little bit of trouble in that regards. I mean, they're still looking for their first big win in this event here in round 3. They're hoping it can come through. iFantazy wants to play that upper corner. Shotgun swings and misses. The volley as well didn't really quite have the impact they were looking for. It's a nice actual little barrage from Bazzible into the Giga shot, or the epic shot. I forget what memory losing me shot. Giga blast from Bazzible, just getting a KO. All I remember from that name is it's cringe, like all of X's abilities. They're all cringe. X is cringe. I'll say it. I'm not afraid. Cringy dude. But all champions are cringy, all right? Like, that's just part of their... You have to be a little bit cringy to be a champ. Here we go. Denong able to get that second barrier down, but it's returned in kind by Antidotion. Doesn't matter. Core strike won by Denong, and we got ourselves a 2-1 series. 2-1 right now. Chance still for Tanporary Repairs to kind of come back in this, as the initial blobs do make their way through. Gets the first barrier down. Bazzible is going to try to shut down that second from that top side. Denong doing what they can. The rollout actually keeping the pressure in favor of iFantazy, who... That was not where I was expecting the Lizard to reappear either way. Locking and loading, keeping Denong on the backside to Tanman score flip. Didn't really stand a ghost of a chance right there. This is what you want, though, from Antifantiyodosun. They want to keep X on their own side of the pitch, because if the X is playing defense, it just means you will control the midfield. Like, there's no real way for Tanporary Repairs to get, like, control back until that X can cross that midfield line, and it looks like they're finally able to do so. Let's see what Denong can do. Nice little spinning punch, but it does lead to the goal being opened up. Now Yosun has to keep away from Denong. You don't want that strike battle. Antidotion goes to the bot side. The barrage actually works with the Giga Blast into the core flip. Oh, what a game of chicken won by Yosun. But the shot doesn't hit the corner, and that means the pressure's still there. Denied by a blob. Tanporary Repairs might reverse sweep our first set. Woo. We got one. We got one cooking right now. This is turning into a fun little battle. But the first barrier will fall on the top side. Bazzible gonna have to try and play defense. The top barrier has been falling easy for Antifanti. They haven't really been able to get the second one with quite that same gusto. Yosun forward, drops the tofu wall. Still going to defend that upper barrier. iFantazy wants to go top side. Core flip, drops it back down low. Again, goes back to the top side, but the Tanman's going to continue to play a little bit of keep away as the second barrier nearly falls, but not quite there. Antidotion. Bounce shot. Oh, what a snipe. What a goal. That's going to be Antifanti taking the first set. Courtesy. I guess iFantazy got credit for it, but I feel like that was Anti's goal, and it is Anti's MVP. So it kind of makes sense from that front. Either way, all right, let's see where this draft now winds up. Again, remember, Anti does have them the prime time. Now it's going to take that tempo swing. So just going to be doing a lot of shots, I feel like. Really going to be trying to get those staggers low. Spark of Agility going over to X, which will leave perfect form over to the Kai. Super Surge, it's not the best for a Drakkar. And actually lets extra special drop to the opposite side. Twin Drive goes to the Drakkar. Timeless Creator left for Yosun. Not the most exciting draft for Antifanti, dare I say. Definitely left a little lacking as Denong gets 2 quick barriers. Now looking to put it through. Oh no, Tanman lets it get behind them, so 1 barrier falls on the other side. Volley. Antidotion doesn't quite hit. Neither does the barrage. Either way, Yosun's rollout blocked by Denong, but wasn't able to win the strike war after. The Giga Blast does damage. A good little snipe from Bazzible. Actually, to find it. Now the Tanman into the corner. Yosun, big time save. And Denong could have put it in, but wound up missing. That was a little bit awkward from Denong right there. As again, the body slam just creates enough space. Denong strike war pass to themselves. Second touch goes in. And it's a 1-0 lead in set 2. Gonna go ahead and take care of that. Yeah, take care of that aircon right now. I think we have gotten ourselves at a good temperature. Here we go. Pressure to that top side. Yosun wants to stay with it, but it's iFantazy who helps gets the first barrier down. Now Tanman will get a barrier on the opposite side. Yosun wants to get to Antidotion. Ooh, tricky play by Denong. Doesn't really work out. The core flip was expended on nothing. Tanman now has their own core flip available and a little bit of a Juno push. Watch out. Might use it to get the barrier. Oh my, that was a lot of damage. Antidotion did the first chunk of damage to iFantazy with the KO, courtesy of a lock and load. Will force a 3v2. Good positioning from Tanman. I mean, Juno historically can be one of the easier forwards to help defend in a power play against. Unfortunately for them, it does open up the barrage. Sorry, that's the volley. Saves the first. No, that one is the barrage. It does save the goal from going through. Yosun has a core flip. Not going to need it. Fantasy wanted to pass down to themselves. Read by Bazzible, who also connected to the barrage with that. Antidotion, top corner. iFantazy there. Goes invisible, but doesn't find the angle. Lash out of the barrage. Actually flips the map once again. Denong won't be able to get the punch despite all the blobs in position. iFantazy, oh! Wanted the strike war. Bazzible able to get it just underneath. Now against an invisible iFantazy. The barrage makes the save. This time Bazzible under so much pressure. 2 big strike wars won by the Tanporary defender. As iFantazy again, oh, gonna get it with the core flip. It had the KO, it has the goal. We're tied 1 apiece. It was good goalkeeping from Bazzible. Just unfortunately could only ask to hold so long against iFantazy there. Eventually that one will go in. 1-1 game. Core making its way to the top side of the map, but unable to really find its way through. Now back down. Bazzible wants to throw it back up. iFantazy tries to dribble it with themselves. Loses out on that bit of possession. 40 seconds still going. Lock and load. Gets down the second barrier. A chance to make it a 2-1 game in our second set. Antidotion. Oh, the snipe was a little low. Now tries to go over the top of Tanman, who is still able to make that read. Rollout just annoys Denong, as does that body slam. That snipe hits Antidotion, making it 2-1. We got a game in a dire straits right now if Tanporary can't get themselves another couple goals. The pressure on this blue side. First barrier goes down. Antidotion lets that one fall. As we see iFantazy get the first barrier on the opposite side. Again, it is a projectile battle. You'd have to think eventually it is going to get cleared to the other side. Tanman doing what they can to Denong. Realistically, the only melee sort of striker in this matchup right now. Gets a bit of damage on Antidotion, but you can sort of see throughout how difficult it has been for Denong to kind of stick on people. Goal open, second set, chance to go down. Antidotion lets that one ride. iFantazy dribbles to themselves. It's cut off by the barrier into the Blobo. But Antidotion, again with that range, was just able to find it, and they can play keep away from Denong. It's been such a tough game for this X to be effective. Body slam keeps Denong off balance. The circle punch gets denied by the core flip. Good use of the barrage from Bazzible to make the save, because iFantazy was in position for the goal. How did the core get through that gap? Spooky little moment right there. Yosun, though, still able to hold. Now you've got iFantazy's core flip to be a little bit cautious of. Antidotion has time, does bait out the barrage. There's the core flip, there's the second barrage, and that's gonna be the goal. Patient play draws out both of the barrages from the prime time. and it leads to that next set. iFantazy gets credit as MVP of set number 2. I like Quick Strike. I like Heavy Impact. Both of those could be nice. Even Catalyst actually quite good on this map right now. They are going to go the Heavy Impact, though. I think that's a good selection. Kai should be going Quick Strike, which will leave Dubu. Big Fish, nope, the Hot Shot. Fair enough, Juno. I can't almost go Catalyst, I feel like here. Would be a good pick for this Juno. Just kind of letting it sit and ride. Spark going over to Estelle. X will take the Big Fish, and yep, Juno will wind up selecting the Catalyst. So here we go. Very interesting right now. Sparks were broken up. Denong unable to get the second spark, so it was really important that Antidotion actually did sort of take that spark away from Denong, because the speed is the biggest issue right now against this Tanporary Repairs. Like, Denong is always going to be a little bit less effective as long as speed is not on their side, and unfortunately for Denong, like, we've been kind of seeing that right now. Because it's only Village, the points do take a while, but they have largely been controlled by the Antifanti side, as both goalkeepers are looking to defend that top half now. From what we've seen, Bazzible a little bit more comfortable defending the bottom. Yosun actually likes the top, so this also a little bit favored to the red side, although with that pressure, Dedong was finally able to get it through. And that's, again, where you start to see the strengths of this blue team. If they can just get as close as possible, it's a good sign. Core flip, read by Antidotion. The volley gets it back on the attacking side. Bazzible's first barrage used prematurely. Lock and load gets a second now. This Kai does have a core flip. Might have to use it here. Goes top window. Denong actually finds the Blobbo, but now it winds up in possession of iFantazy. Doesn't have the lock and load for the goal. Does have the pass, read by Bazzible again. Oh, that was scary moments. See, again, you know, the Giga Blast doing what it can. Denong passes himself. Second punch doesn't get it. Swinging punch as well. Not the pressure that they wanted on Yosun. Antidotion has a core flip. Doesn't use it yet. Doesn't need to. iFantazy, lower goal. Good passing, 1-0 lead. Good stuff coming from that Antifanti side. We go into our next point right now. First barrier falls really, really quickly. Second barrier could be under a bit of pressure. Bazzible has done a better job defending this bottom one. Yosun actually in an awkward spot, has to go up high. Denong has it red, nearly got the circle punch in order to get that KO, but it's a KO. The other side, Tofu Wall thrown backwards to get rid of this X now. In the 2v3, good interception by Tanman, nearly takes down the barrier, but now Antidotion's forward snipe shot gets the second barrier. Core flip had to be used. Again, iFantazy in a spot to put this one away. First barrier falls. On the opposite side, Denong is back and looking to get in between Antidotion and Yosun. Oh, unfortunately, weren't able to hold it. Going invisible, it's a KO! And the slowest goal you'll ever see. We advance to match point for Antifanti. Oh. This is a tough one. Tough position to be in right now for both these teams, but I'd say it's a little bit tougher for this team in red. Or sorry, this team in blue. The team in red's actually laughing right now, or are they? Denong gets that first barrier. One aside. I like Denong just taking blind shots after iFantazy, just hoping that's where they were. It wasn't really the case still. When you're X, swing first, ask questions later, all right? Headbutt also. Didn't really hit its mark. iFantasy's going to be a little bit careful, though. They are quite low on that stagger meter. As Yosun doing what they can. It's going to be iFantazy through that top window. Tanman keeps it up top, nearly gets the KO, but iFantazy goes forward while staggered. It's still going to be another snipe from Antidotion. iFantazy now wants to run that corner, will get KO'd. The volley nearly crosses up. Bazzible, you saw the barrage was going the wrong way. Would have been a sick 2v3 goal. Instead, Denong, now with the power plays, actually has the confidence to press it forward, but the passing to themselves kind of goes awry. Core flip available for Anti. They decide not to use it yet. Kind of going to wait for that moment where they think they can get that goal. Tanman rotates back. Antidotion now with control, gets the core flip out of Bazzible while saving their own. Body slam by Yosun. Does make that save. Tofu Wall, though, works against them. Goal is open. Anti, again, still sitting on that core flip. You have to think that could be the catalyst for this goal. They step forward, intercepted by Tanman, who finds a core flip themselves. Denong intercepted away. Anti, oh, they tried to jump forward. Core flip doesn't get it, but the snipe shot will. It's got to be game, set, and match. Going to Antifantiyodosun. They win this one 3-0. All of the stall and all of the setup, and yet, in the end, They get it done. Good game from Antifantiyodosun. Again, this could be a team that's looking to snake its way possibly through in that second spot in Pool B. I didn't really get a chance to talk about, where Pool P goes out of the top right now. And as that match has ended, I have to think this is one of the later ones that's done. I'm just going to take a quick little look at how we're looking at Pool B right now. It's a bit dramatic. Obviously, Dead Before OT still in a good spot, still looking undefeated. Antifanty kind of sitting 1-1 because they did lose against Dead Before OT. So for Antifanty to realistically get themselves back in it, they're going to have to pull off an upset against Quick Dub, who hasn't lost a set yet. That's neither here nor there. Meanwhile, back in Pool A, we're still looking at Divorced by Six Men and LGBZZZZ, the two undefeated teams. Not too surprising. 2 glasses of milk. They're kind of my team that maybe can make a run, but they would have to get their own little bit of an upset. That's going to be happening round 4, and guess what? That's going to be happening up next. So stick around when we return. 2 glasses of milk versus LGB Triple Z here at Monday Night Monday number 6.